crystals, banners, characters. You're either using one of these so you're able to summon on the banner, and of course summon for the character. And right now in GS there is a new banner coming out which is Long, that some people may want to summon on and some people may want to skip. Not only is Long coming, we're also getting a character that we should have got a very long time ago named Barossa. Barossa should have been here like 5 years ago. He was one of the skip characters that we never got, but I mean, hey, better late to the party than never. He's not getting buffed, by the way. They just left him as is, and he's not good. Apart from him, the banner itself, kind of godly, man. We got characters like 12th Generation Mizuki and Fire Orville on the banner, along with Long. Like, you know, this banner kind of got a good little lineup going. But before we talk about all that, let's talk about Long himself. Now, Long isn't really anything too crazy. He is mainly an attacker, and specifically a bleed attacker. I know we just got Velazard and JP, and we're getting Long right now, so, you know, 2 bleed attackers in like the same week. For you guys that are maybe newer to the game and don't exactly know what bleed is, it's pretty much just a different debuff that you can apply on the enemy, and certain characters scale off of having more bleeds on the enemy. You can only ever stack 3 bleeds though, so, you know, you can't just get like thousands of bleed on somebody. That's not a thing. Also, each bleed stack does reduce the enemy's damage res by 3%. I know it's not a lot, but you know, it is a little bit of a damage buff, which, as mentioned before, this is exactly what Long scales off of. Everything about him is super basic and just all about inflicting bleed and only being able to do stuff if the enemy is bleeding. Like on his art, being able to inflict disease if you're bleeding. On his shoe art, being able to inflict a bleed and being able to increase that bleed level if you're bleeding. On his super art, being able to increase his own attack and reduce the enemy's water res by 100%. But one of its passives is that he increases his own damage by 150% if you're bleeding, ×2. Oh, and he also gives himself 100% accuracy if you're bleeding, ×3. Now, I know Long may not seem that crazy for a lot of people, and I'm gonna be honest with you, he's really not. The only time I would say this character is necessarily crazy is whenever you take into account some of the in-game things that you may want to consider when using this unit. If I'm not mistaken, one of the later floors in Mono Water, it may not be floor 16, it may be floor 17 or whatever. I don't know how many floors you have on JP, but one of the later floors in the Mono Water ruins requires you to disease or bleed or something of this sort. I'm almost positive it's disease. It's better off using someone like Long just for the extra damage from what I've heard. And also his slots, I mean, he's able to have a 5-star defense slot, so you don't have to worry about that. But then again, if you're doing Mono Water, you probably have Shiro Emiya, hopefully, but if you don't, you know, you're probably using Thetis unless the guy has Taunt to Killer. Either way, you guys get the point. Long may be useful for certain things, certain niches, and that's about it. And, you know, when I say that type of stuff, I know some veteran players may be like, you know, he might be worth summoning on now. But as it goes for a vast majority of people, it's kind of like, I mean, I guess his damage is going to be pretty solid, and he is going to be able to hit relatively hard if you're able to stack him up with the bleeds and everything. No type of defense ignore, no type of crit chance. You'll have to give that to him. With that being said, I mean, you probably are better off using a lot of different attackers. It's just really hard to justify summoning for this character unless like you're a huge fan of like super in-game content where it's like that one piece of content where Long's going to be useful in. However, it's not just such an easy skip, because if you look at the rest of the banner, well, it gets kind of like, dang, do I really want to skip this banner? You have a unit like 12th Generation Mizuki, which is still used to this day. And in all honesty, I mean, if you're like newer to the game and let's say like you picked up Ainz or you picked up some other character and you're looking for another unit to be able to like round out your roster and give you like another Archgener, picking up 12G is insane. So he's great for nukes, great for sustained teams, and extremely viable even in today's Ascended era. The next character here is actually Fire Orville, and he's another type of damage dealer. And a lot of people may be like, oh, Fire Orville, why would you want to use him? And my man still got his uses at times. Like for an example, there's a certain stage in one of the Summoner's Roads. It's not coming to me right now. I can't remember which one it is, but there's one where you have to deal magic damage, and Fire Orville is one of the best characters to take into it. So Fire Orville still very good, still has a really good place in the meta, and has kind of just gotten even better since we got characters like Star God Lisa and all that now, which he works fantastically with. Literally, Star God is giving him every single thing he wants, from equipment CT to magic damage buff, and good lord, I mean, this character is just amazing still. I mean, sure, he doesn't have as high of a multiplier as other characters nowadays, but the man's built to just deal damage, man. He really is. Not to mention too, he's also a fire character, so if you wanted to use him in like the mono fire ruins and stuff like that, you'd still be able to get a lot of use out of him in that too. Also, if you're brand new to the game and you want to get him, you'll probably really enjoy this character because he's a lot of fun to play. I mean, whenever you go into your liberation mode and you're just spamming your equip over and over and you just see this huge blast on screen constantly, it's pretty fun. It makes monkey brain happy. Which now leads me into whether you should summon on this banner or not. And me, myself, I would tell you that no matter what, everybody should probably do at least a summon on it. Even if you don't want long, but you're missing like Fire Orville and 12th Generation Mizuki, this is a great time to pick up either or. I wouldn't say go broke on the banner, but definitely just summoning on them to see what you get. Even if you're like completely brand new and you're like, oh, if I get long, I'm not really gonna be able to use them or whatever, still summon on it. It's gonna be great for you. Being able to get more characters for you to be able to eventually do like Summoner's Road and all that is a huge priority for new players. And if you want to pick up 12th Generation Mizuki or Fire Orville, these guys are gonna be able to hard carry you through so many different lower level stages of Summoner's Road, it's not even funny. If you are a hardcore veteran, you're wondering if you should just summon on this banner or skip it entirely and just keep saving for like Hoka and Kill la Kill and all that, I'll tell you that if you care about like that one scenario where long is extremely useful, then it's probably worth for you to summon. But if you really don't care, then it's an easy skip. Long's going to come back eventually, and he'll probably come back on a banner that's a rotating banner or something with all the other Ascended Ninjas. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for this video. Tell me down below if you are going to be summoning on this banner or not, or if you're going to be skipping it entirely. Me, myself, I'm thinking about at least doing maybe a little summon on it, seeing if I could walk away with a 12G or Fire Orville or whatever else. And also, Momon is getting a step up summon, and I will probably be summoning on that eventually, so keep a lookout for that video. But hey, if you are going to be summoning on this banner, I wish you all the best of luck. And one more thing before you leave, don't forget to drink water.